to Gentle Yoga. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. If you struggled to push the join the meeting button, awesome job pushing the button and showing up. Some days we always like to say coming to class is the hardest part, and then you move through class and some days it just feels amazing the whole time, and then other days we're like, oh, through the whole class that we struggle, but there's points of it that we're like, ooh, that felt really good. I wanna enjoy that. So we hope that the whole class is good once we show up, but it's never perfect. The idea is us to notice the mind, notice the body, and notice that it goes in waves, in cycles. The other thing that we'll notice or mention that this month, as far as the studio is concerned, is we're exploring self. Like, what is our true self? Who are we at our core? And one way that we're doing that is through meditation. Being still will teach you a whole lot about yourself. So today we'll stay in poses a little bit longer, and I need to let you empower yourself to know that if you're staying there too long, to come out, maybe readjust and join again, or find a position that you can just say, all right, I'm going to sit and be and join up when I can, okay? This area we're working on today isn't an area that we tune into very often, so we'll just get started. So go ahead and bring your feet out in front of you. So you'll be on your bum on the mat, or even on a cushion is fine. And then as you have your legs out in front of you, see if you can find on your right side, from your knee to your ankle, your tibia bone. Your tibia is like that hard guide down to your ankle. And what we want to look at is just to the outside of it is this muscle here that we get shin splints in, our tibialis anterior. And the name of the muscle is not important, but I want you to see if you can kind of feel it from the knee down to the ankle. So just a little self-exploration, self-massage. You can, kind of make little circles or little movements, just something to awaken that muscle. And also notice right at the ankle, this muscle crosses down and it crosses across. Again, it's not important, but what I want you to know is that this muscle impacts your foot. So pausing with the right side, let's just explore the left side. So noticing the tibia bone right down the middle, that hard bone, go to the outside of it, and again, that area that sometimes we have shin splints in when we do too much running. This is the muscle we're trying to say hello to, get to know. And again, it crosses over the ankle and drops down into the inside of the foot, oddly enough. So if we work this muscle, hopefully our foot feels more placed or balanced when we get done. Just going up and down, it might be circles, it might be just a nice little tap. Just anything that feels like you're getting down into your body. You're saying hello. Okay. From here, two choices. Hero's pose, which because we're in gentle class, I'm going to offer up you sitting up on a blocks. So what I find to be the easiest for hero's pose is to start with knees up underneath you. They might be a little bit wider. And then if you've never done this pose, you could sit on two blocks right under your bum and sit down on them. Okay, start there. And if you already know that hero's pose is something your body will not do, then get your chair and you're just going to go one at a time, sitting on your chair, bringing one foot back, and the toes are going to point away from you. Okay, so if hero's pose does not work, you're going to take the leg, the toes back behind you, and see if you can stretch out the top of the shin. I know most of us are okay in hero's pose. So as you're seated here, we're trying to get the tops of the feet on the mat. And then if that's easy for you, you can just take blocks away until you start to feel a stretch on the top of the foot. Some of you are extremely bendy. We have a wide range of folks in here, so you might end up taking your hands back behind you. The last thing I'll see if it feels all right in your body is to push the foot, the toes, down into the mat. So you push the toes into the mat and allow the toes to draw down into the mat and sink pelvis down. Okay, if you're in the chair, make sure you switch sides. So finding a hero's pose that works for you. And we'll take 3 breaths here, maybe closing the eyes and noticing where you feel the stretch. Good. Last breath here. And then, whatever position you're in, you're going to sit up. If you're on the chair, get the chair out of the way and come to all fours. We're going to take our blanket. And there's a few options. So first I'm going to have you start with just a small roll of your blanket. Doesn't have to be a lot. You're going to head into child's pose, but you have a few options here. The roll can go right under your ankle, or, so that might be if somebody has super tight ankles, you could go right under the ankle. If you're looking to get more of a stretch, you're going to take the prop more down towards your toes. So the lift would be now at your toes. Take your knees wide, tail back, and walk your hands out in front of you. Okay, so I'll say that one more time just because I have a couple people that I've never practiced with before, and I'm not sure how much yoga you've done, which I want to make sure you kind of get the idea. So if ankles are really tight, the roll will be right at your front of your ankle. If you have really open ankles, take the roll down to your toes. Bring your toes a little bit more together, knees apart, and drop your chest and your head. Walk your hands out in front. We're going to take 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, come on up to all fours. I'll invite you to keep the prop where it's at. We'll get our knees underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our pelvis, hands underneath our shoulders. Take a deep breath in, let your belly drop, your chest drop, look up. As you exhale, round, especially your tail going down. Drop your tail towards your heels and come into your child's pose. Inhale, come on up to all fours. Choice to have your feet right out from your knees, so straight legs as opposed to together. Drop your belly, your chest, and look on up. As you exhale, round, really tuck that tail, keep the tail tucked, and come into child's pose. So I want you to keep on moving. You can go slow or fast. Breathing in as you come into a sway back, a cow. Breathing out as you go into cat. Dropping heels, walking your hands out in front. You're going to keep going, and you might play with different positioning of your feet and your prop. The toes might end up being right at the very high point of your prop to get more ankle opening. And you keep on going. And you keep on making it work for your body. Let's do two more. And if you want to just pause in child's pose because you've had a really big day, then do so. One more here. Good. On your next inhale, come on up to all fours. If you didn't have something underneath your knees and you want something, it's a great time to do so. So once you get your knees underneath your pelvis, hands underneath the shoulders, go ahead and take a nice breath in and take your right leg long on your mat. Your toes are pointing towards your hands. And you're going to push back through your heel. And I'm shifting my weight a little bit back. And that's stretching out the back of my calf. Okay? So I'm on all fours, right leg's back. Toes are pointing towards my hands. And I shift my weight a little bit back. I push through my heel. And feeling a nice stretch to the calf here. Breath in, breath out. Shift your weight so you have equal weight through your knees and your hands. Keep your right leg back. And if you choose, lift that leg up into the sky. So we want to have it level with our back, level with our pelvis. I want you to point your toes today. Really point your toes to the back of the room. If you choose, bird dog, lifting your left hand off of the ground. Get that core nice and engaged to really support that low back. And we'll pause here and breathe. Keep on pointing your toes away. Notice where the mind roams as we stay in stillness. And go ahead and drop the hand and the knee. We'll flip right over to the other side. Unless you need to do something to take care of your body, we'll take that left leg back. Toes are on the ground. Toes are pointing towards the hand. Shift weight back a little bit. Push through the heel. And we'll stretch out through that calf. We'll take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, let your weight come forward over your hands again, so you have equal weight through your hands and your knee. And then we'll lift the left leg up if you choose. Point your toes away, really strong. Point toes away. Level off pelvis, so we remember that glass of water on our low back. Draw the navel in. Shrink wrap the belly goods, really tighten your core, and then if you choose, right arm's going to go out in front. We'll pause here, look down at your mat, breathe, and then watch or listen to what happens in your mind. I don't like this, I need this, I should have been doing this years ago, I wish I did this more, I wish I didn't have to do it. It all plays out. And let's just not make it judgmental. One more breath here. And go ahead and drop the hand and the knees. Let's join into child's pose. Toes together, most likely knees apart. Dropping your tail back and walking those hands out in front of you. Now, one thing I notice in child's pose that people don't get enough stretch is that when they walk their hands forward, their tail and their bum come off of the mat. What I want you to try to do is keep your tail down and walk your hands forward. We'll take one more breath here. On your next inhale, come on up to all fours. And then from here, let's go ahead and find ourselves in standing. Get our props out of the way. And then you're either going to need a back of a chair or a wall or something you feel really stable on. So my chair is completely on the mat, so it's not going to slip out. I can put my weight into it and it's not going to slip out. Okay? From there, you're going to have your hands on the chair. You're going to take your right foot back and place the top of the foot on the mat. Your toes are going to point away from you. Okay? And some of you have really tight muscles on the front of your shin, so it might just be a touch down and then a pause, both feet up underneath you. And then you might breathe in again and take it back. Some of you, this might feel really good, so you're going to stay. If you don't feel a stretch, you're going to go back further, and you might even have to push down into the top of your foot to feel the stretch. I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to say it might be for about 5% of you. Some days I really need to stretch this muscle so much that I put weight in the top of my back foot and I do crescent lunge just like this. So if that feels like it's something that's useful to your body, then you might try it. But it takes a lot of balance, and your ankles have to be okay with it. Could be one hand to try it out. We don't win any rewards by being able to do that kind of stuff. All you're trying to do is get that ankle joint more open and a stretch through the front of the shin. Deep breath in, come back up, both feet up underneath you. Now's a great time to get your hips back a little bit. Lift your right foot and start to make some rotations with that right foot. Doesn't matter which way you go, rotate it out. And then we'll go back the other way. Snap, crackle, pops. A lot of times that's the body waking up. Other times it means the body's too flexible in this area. So we just have to start to play and notice. If there's lots of snap, crackle, and pops, we might need to strengthen the area. Okay, get your feet a little bit closer to the chair or the wall or whatever you're grabbing a hold of. Take your left leg back, top of foot on the mat, toes are pointing away, and then again, it might just be a toe touch, and then you take a pause. The no pain, no gain does not work in yoga. You're starting to awaken things, you're starting to pay attention, you're starting to get to know what helps you. And if it feels best to just stay with your toes pointed away, maybe bend into your front knee a little bit, maybe take the leg back a little bit longer. If it feels good, you might even bring one arm up overhead or both arms. Good job. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Good. Slowly come back up, both feet up underneath you. We'll go ahead and lift, walk the feet back a little bit. Lift the left foot, start to make rotations one way with the ankle. And go back the other way. The tops of my feet get really red when I do this. You might have noticed I'm really white and pasty. That could be one reason. But the other reason is this is hard. But when I get done with it, my ankles and the way that I walk, my gait is so much better. So we gotta try these things out. Some people might really need it. Other people are like, nope, I'd rather need something else. Doesn't mean we can't give it a try. All right, both feet on the ground. Send your hips and walk your feet back. Think about an upside down L pose here, or upside down L. Walk your feet so your tail's way far back and your feet are right up underneath your pelvis. Arms can be up overhead, the arms can stay straight, or you can bend them. And some of you, that's going to be plenty. Others might have to drop and melt their heart down to the ground in order to feel the stretch. Feet can go wider, whatever feels doable in your body. Check it out, empower yourself. And then it might feel good to do a few little cat-cows here. Rounding that spine, melting that spine. Rounding and melting. If it feels better for you to hold and pause, then do that. 2 more times. Breath in, breath out. Find a connection with that breath, meaning does it feel better for you to breathe in and round? Or does it feel better to breathe in when you melt your heart? 2 more times. On your next inhale, go ahead and come on up, walk on up. And then let's go ahead and keep our chair or our wall and grab our strap. It can be a towel too. That might even be easier for some of you. So first off, the strap can be challenging, the towel can be challenging to get this pose. What it's going to look like in the end is one hand on the chair or the wall, and you're going to try to get the strap around the top of the foot. Strap goes around the top of the foot. The heel comes towards the bum. If you feel a stretch through the front of your leg and your ankle, front of your shin here, great, stay. If you want to do more, you're somehow going to take the strap and bring it up and over your shoulder. Okay? Some people might end up more with a loop, and I've seen people like that. Don't get confused with like the right way to do it. But empower yourself because you're at home to check out a few different ways on what works best for you. What I notice is everybody likes something different. So foot just comes towards your bum. The strap can come over the shoulder if you like. Some of you might be able to just grab the top of the foot and hold it. And that works too. Okay? So from here, we just want to work a stretch on the top or the front of the thigh. Your standing leg, whatever that is, you could micro bend a little bit. You could push the up foot into your hand. Bend into your standing knee a little bit more and see if you can tip so your chest comes down towards the ground and your foot might come a little higher up towards the sky. Remembering the pose isn't what you think the end point or what looks remarkable, but where do you feel the stretch in the front of the thigh that says, ah, yeah, that feels really good to me. We'll take one more breath here. Good job. And then we'll, however we can, come out of that pose, get the strap or the towel out of the way, and we'll end up coming back to our L pose. I'm going to put this strap to my side, but if you want to keep it closer, you can. We're going to come right back to it. So hands on the wall or the chair, walk the pelvis back. Feet might go wider than the hips. Tail goes way far back. Feet right underneath the tail. Melt your heart. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. On your next inhale, slowly walking up to your prop. And we'll go to the other side with your strap. So I don't know that I called out what leg we were doing. I just started with my left because you could see me. But whatever leg you didn't do last time, go ahead and take your strap or your towel around the top of the foot, however you can get it. Bring your heel towards your bum make the strap or the towel work for you. Heel towards bum, maybe towel or strap over the shoulder. If you can grab the foot, top of the foot, by all means do that. Good job. Then this could be your pose. You're stretching the front of the leg. You're stretching the top of the foot, even though you might not feel it. You are. Look out in front of you. Bend your standing knee. Possibly push the foot into the hand or the strap. And if you choose, tip chest forward. Again, figuring out where you feel the stretch on the front of the thigh. That's what I want you to feel today, and possibly the front of the shin. One more breath, see if you can stick it out. Good. Unwinding, however you can, nice and slow. Both feet up underneath you. And then let's get our strap over to the side. And we'll end up getting our props out of the way. And we're going to come down to our mats. We're going to end up on our left side. So I'll wait for you to come on down, take your time. So you'll end up on your left side. I've got my left hand on the mat. My knees are bent some. Now go ahead and grab your strap unless you are able to grab your foot. If you're able to grab your foot with ease, you might not need your strap, but it's always nice just to have it close by just in case. Okay? So here, I'm going to take my strap and it's going to go around the bottom foot. So my bottom foot gets the strap. It could be in a little loop, it could be just wrapping around, it could be a towel wrapped up, but however you can get the hold of that bottom foot, the left foot. Then you're going to bring that strap or towel closer to your bum and leave it there. Okay, so you forget about it for a second. You're going to come down to your left side body. So come on down to your left side body. If you want a pillow for your head or a block for your head, you could grab it. We're going slow here. If your patience is being tested, know that's also part of the process of like we're just going with the flow. Okay? Now, bringing your right knee, your top knee, towards your chest. This left hand, your bottom hand, could touch the right knee. So my left hand could come to my right knee, or it might just start to head in that direction. You've got that. Now your back leg, your back foot is going to come towards your bum with your strap. It's going to come towards your bum and you're going to see if you can grab a hold of your towel or your strap. From there, your bottom knee is going to go back towards the back of the mat. So you've got top hip going one way, back hip going back the other way. See if you can grab a hold of the strap as close to the foot as possible. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm doing from a different angle just in case you've never done this one. So cat chasing tail. Right knee's up towards your chest, left hand to the right knee. Back knee goes back in space. My foot comes towards my bum. I might be able to grab the foot. Okay? Don't get any awards if you do. Then from there, you might turn your sternum up towards the sky and look up to the sky. All these different positions I'm just offering up because there's such a wide range of bodies. So it doesn't matter what you look like, just head into a position where right knee is going towards your chest. Bottom knee, left foot is coming towards your bum. Your bottom knee is going back. Your front knee is going forward. Possibly sternum turning towards the sky, maybe head. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. For some of you that are little Gumbies out there, you might be able to take your top leg, your right leg straight, and walk your left hand down towards the ankle and really get into it. One more breath here. Unwinding slowly. Bringing the strap off to the side. We'll slowly make our way over to the other side. If you all have noticed, when we first started Zoom, it was kind of like we didn't do any of these harder things because we don't have our eyes on you to offer adjustments. But we have been on Zoom for almost a year now, so it's time for us to explore. It's time for us to trust ourselves that we'll make the best decisions for our bodies. Okay? So right hip is now on the ground, maybe a pillow. Left knee in towards the chest. You could even have a bolster here underneath your left knee. Then, oops, I forgot to tell you to do this first. My apologies. You'll probably have to come up and somehow get the strap around your bottom foot, your right foot. Get it around there. Bring the strap or the towel towards your bum. And then lay on down. Top knee comes in towards the chest. Bottom foot comes towards the bum. See if you can find your strap. That might be part of the process, is just having patience enough to get into the pose. What's your self-talk? Alright, so bottom knee's gonna go back. Front knee's gonna go forward. Right hand might touch your top knee, your left knee. And you might turn your sternum up to the sky, your head, and offer a twist. I'll switch my positions in case you need a reminder of what you're up to. Back knee goes back to the back of the mat. If you want to straighten this front leg, you could do that also. And walk your hands down the calf. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. One thing I'm noticing is I'm clenching my back booty, so relaxing that, seeing if the strap can do the work for me or my hands grabbing the foot, and then see if you can feel a stretch on the front of the bottom leg. One more breath. Great. Unwinding, oh la la, from there. And come on to your back. Remember, if you are cussing me, we always have choices, right? Whether to do it or not. If you don't feel anything in the areas that I mentioned, you can always write me or ask me after class, and we can work our way through it. Okay? From here, once you're on your back, let's take the bottoms of the feet together. Drop the knees out. Push the heels together, the pads of the feet together, and the toes together. And then as you keep that pressure of the bottoms of the feet together, take a nice deep breath in, start to draw your knees in, but keep the press of the bottoms of the feet in towards each other. Knees draw in, and then knees relax, drop down. Inhale, press feet, lift knees. Exhale, drop. Inhale, press feet, lift knees, maybe a little bit higher. Exhale, drop. Good, 2 more times, just like that, pressing and lifting. And the next time you drop the knees, see if it's okay to just settle on in. The hands can be any place you want them to be. They could be up overhead, maybe bringing the fingertips together just like the toes are. We'll stay here in a relaxed position for 3 more breaths. Let that breath draw into your belly. Let the belly expand. And as you exhale, make sure you let all the breath out. On your next inhale, if your hands were up over your head, bring them by your side. Let the knees come in, bottoms of the feet will return to the mat. Once you get the feet on the mat, go ahead and place them down. Draw your right knee in towards your chest so that your right knee is right over your right pelvis. Place your hands, one hand or both hands on your right knee. Press down through your left foot, strong. Left foot pushes down, right knee draws in towards your chest, but the hands are going to be pushing into the leg. Left foot is down, right knee towards the chest, hands resist, and then we're going to switch that out. Left knee comes up, right over the pelvis. Hands come to the thigh, anywhere on the thigh. Push down through the right foot. Push left thigh into the chest. Hands push into the thigh. Switch it up again. Right knee over the pelvis, hands to the right thigh. Push down through the left foot first, strong. Then lift the right knee into the chest, hands resist. Hold and switch. Left knee over the pelvis, hands place. Push down through the right foot. Push or bring the left knee into the chest. Drop that foot. Both knees into the chest. Hug the knees in and give a nice sway side to side here. Back to center you go. Both feet on the mat. Let's have the hands by the sides. We're not going to use them. We're not going to use our shoulders. We're going to let these strong legs and booty do the work. Push down through your feet. Lift your pelvis up. It could be a tiny bit. It could be a lot. Lift up. Soften through the shoulders and the head. Make sure there's enough space for your throat here, so you're not really shrunk up. There's space. From here, push through your heels. Then get your weight into your toes. Lift your heels off of the ground. Push down through your toes. Lift your heels a little bit more. And slowly let one vertebrae at a time come on down. Drop the pelvis, drop the heels. Do that again. Inhale, push through your feet, lift up. Push down through your toes, lift your heels up. On your next exhale, slowly roll and round one vertebrae at a time down to the mat. 2 more times at your own pace, remembering you're pushing down through the feet, using those strong arms and booty to lift. Then possibly lifting heels, pushing down through your toes and rolling on down. You got 1 more to go. When you're down, let your pelvis relax, let your heels relax. Bring both knees into the chest, a nice sway side to side. Back to center, allow your feet to come onto the mat. Take your right ankle and cross it right above the left knee or somewhere in that vicinity so you have a triangle in the middle of your legs. From here, you're going to point the right toes away from you. So my right toes are pointing away. There's a stretch or should feel like a little or big stretch on the top of the shin. From there, you might choose to bring your left thigh into your chest. Here, you're going to keep on pointing your toes away, maybe grabbing a hold of pants or the back of the leg, or just letting your leg hold itself up there. Keep pointing the right toes away. We'll pause here and breathe. Soften shoulders. And return both, or just the left foot back to the mat. Now we're going to bring the toes, the right toes towards the knee. So now it's a calf stretch and the bottom of the foot stretches, toes towards the knee. Bring that left thigh into your chest. Keep the toes activated towards the knee and see if that changes anything in your stretch. We'll take 2 breaths here. Returning one foot back to the mat, then both feet back to the mat. We're going to switch sides. Left foot or left ankle crosses over to the right knee or somewhere around that. Triangle in the middle of the legs. We're pointing your left toes away so you feel a stretch in the shin and the front of the ankle and possibly the front of the foot. You could stay here or draw the right thigh into the chest. Grab and hold the pants, back of the leg, or make the muscles work for you, drawing that right thigh into your chest. Keep pointing left toes away. 2 breaths here. Returning just the right foot to the mat. Take your left toes, draw them towards your knee. Left toes towards knee. Bring the right thigh into the chest. Hold it there or grab the pants or the back of the leg. Notice if bringing the toes towards the knee changes anything in the stretch. Good, returning both feet slowly back to the mat. Take your feet as wide as the mat now. Let your toes touch the outside of the mat. Hands by the sides, palms down. Relax shoulders, let your head relax. Find your heels in the outside edges of your foot. Push down and lift your pelvis up. Choice to lift your heels. Push down through your tippy toes. If you can't quite do that, you might try bringing your feet closer to your pelvis, then lifting pelvis, heels, and that might be easier. Coming down one vertebrae at a time. Dropping pelvis, drop heels. You got 3 more of those to go. Heels drop, push through the whole foot, outside and heels. Lift heels, push through push through the toes, and slowly come on down one vertebrae at a time. Drop heels. You got 2 more to go at your own pace. Last one. When you're down, make sure you drop your full pelvis down and your heels. And then we'll bring our knees into our chest. Hug knees in, sway. Or if you want to go into happy baby, taking the knees apart. Possibly feet up to the sky, grabbing hold of the backs of the legs or the feet themselves, and swaying that way. Coming back to center, and we'll find our Shavasana. You're always welcome to bring your chair or your couch or your legs up the wall. I'm going to demo the chair, bringing the base of the chair towards me, laying on back, taking the calves up on the chair, getting the booty as close to the chair as possible. I like to take the bottoms of my feet, my ankles together, my heels together, and let my knees drop off to the side. You can always switch it up, do something that feels good to you. Find a nice position with the hands, possibly palms up. Or if it feels good to bring your palms down, just feeling a connection with the ground or earth in a sense. Sometimes people can feel really subtle things. And so just noticing if it feels better to have palms up or palms down, or just getting curious ties into a different part of our brains that we probably haven't used all day. That mindfulness bit. What feels better? And if we don't know, that's okay. We're going to settle into our stillness. And remembering when we first start meditation, this isn't an easy front. This isn't an easy thing. It's a lifelong practice. And the best thing to do is just get curious. Notice your mind roaming. That's what it does. But if you can catch this moment of just letting the mind go, in a sense that you're not fully involved with all the thoughts, but it's like you watch the thoughts. And oftentimes we just get this blip of peace, of calm, of letting go. And so let's just try that out. See what happens as we sit here in stillness. Just checking in at halfway point. For most of us, the mind has bounced 50 or 1,000 times. That's okay. We catch it. We bring it back to one focus. That one focus could just be you relaxing. Could be you just getting curious on where the mind roams. The most common one is our breath. We'll take a few more moments here, just being aware. Checking in again here. Were you able to catch the mind one time or 2 times or a few times? Just noticing where it bounces and it roams. Allowing yourself to bring it back to one focus. It's a practice. It's us managing our minds so that one day, hopefully, it doesn't get to bounce and roam as freely, that we can catch it more often and come back to our one focus. And I always felt like being a multitasker was like the best thing that I could ever be. But now I'm finding that I wasn't able to focus and get a job done. So now when I need to, I have that ability to multitask, and I also have the ability to focus on one thing and finish it out, get it done. You get to decide what your goals are and what's helpful to you. Allowing the breath to deepen here. Maybe moving toes or fingers or both. However you want to do it, maybe rolling over to a side and taking a pause there, or you might not have been in a position that that's possible, so you might just roll right on up. Options, always options. Just take your time, whatever you choose. No rush. There's no race in yoga. If you want to sit up on something to end our practice, you sure can. So it's always great to check in. What was it like when we pushed the join meeting button? What did we feel? And then as we went through our practice, what was the experience? Was it all felt great? Those are really great days. But a lot of times we have parts and places that we feel like, oh, I wish I could get out of this. I wish I wasn't doing this. Like the whole self-talk comes into play. And our goal in yoga is to go with the flow. We manage the mind to just say, why not? Why isn't this okay? How do I work with this and make it acceptable in my body? As long as there's not those strong boundaries of sharp shooting pain or something that just tells you, nope, this isn't for me. Okay? So just checking in with that. How did I feel at the beginning? How do I feel now? Dropping shoulders. Breath. Soften. Find a place for the hands that resonates with you. Finish out your practice strong with a moment of gratitude to either self, someone in your family or friends that you love, or maybe someone you're having a hard time with right now. Just a moment of gratitude. Thank you for being here tonight. Namaste.